Elementary team, I hope you're having a wonderful week so far. Please know that I'm praying for you, and if you have any specific prayer requests, please let me know. I love to specifically pray for you and know what's happening in your life. As we keep growing, it's difficult to know what's going on in everyone's life, but if there's a way to make that easier, please text me, email me. I want to know more about what's happening in your life. And so, moving into Game Changers Week 2, just wanted to lead you through a quick little devotional as to what I learned and what we're going to be talking about in week 2 of Game Changers. Also, please let me know how week 1 went. Did you like it? What did you not like? What did you like? What worked well? What didn't work well? Let me know so we can learn to tweak those things and make it better for everyone. So just to get started, we are going to read the devotional, which is Exodus 18:13 through 18. And in this passage, Jethro visits Moses. Now, Moses and the people are in the desert, and they're kind of wandering through it. And so at this time, Moses is leading. Scripture tells us that Moses is leading about 600,000 men. It doesn't even say women. So some scholars believe it's about 2 million people that he's leading. And so in Numbers 1:45 through 47, you'll find that it says how many people there were. And it says, Numbers 1:45 says, even all they that were numbered were 600,000 and 3,550. So as you can tell, there were so many people. And Moses was the only one leading. They came to Moses for every single thing that they needed. So you can imagine what how weary someone could become when you're constantly the problem solver, or when so many people are coming just to you to help them figure out life. And as their leader, that was Moses' role. Not only was he the one who spoke to God, but also he would lead them and shepherd them and help them figure out every problem that they had. And so when Jethro hears about this, Jethro thinks it's not wise of him to do, and so he gives them some very practical advice. And so as you read the scripture, you can learn more a little bit as to what Jethro said. And so I'll point something out that he said. Jethro was delighted about all the great things that God was doing through Moses, and he was even encouraged. Jethro said, "Praise be to the Lord who rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians and of Pharaoh, and who rescued the people from the hands of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than any other God, for he did this to those who had treated Israel arrogantly." So Jethro is even encouraged in this visit to Moses. And so as Moses gets to talking about what's happening, Jethro has some advice to share with him. And so he says, what it is that you are doing for these people. Why do you sit alone as judge while all these people stand around you from morning to evening? And then Jethro says, what you are doing is not good. You and these people who come to you will only wear yourselves out. The work is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it alone. Listen now to me, and I will give you some advice. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. Teach them these decrees and show them that the way they are to live and how they are to behave. But select capable men from all of your people, men who fear God, first of all, who are trustworthy and who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands of hundreds of fifties and tens. And so, very practical advice that Jethro gave to Moses. He said, gather some men who are fearful of God. They had to meet certain qualifications so that they too would be able to shepherd God's people. And Moses can go about and work on other things, maybe pray more, seek God more. And so he would be able to lighten the burden that he was going through. And so the story is very simple. It talks about on God's team, players showed respect. And so it's so cool that Moses showed respect to Jethro. He loved Jethro. He even sat with him over dinner, and he showed a lot of great respect. And he took his advice, which was very wise of him to do, obviously. It was great advice. And so I want to take that scripture now and apply it to our lives. How many times as men and women, having a household, doing a job, having multiple jobs, teaching on Sundays, how many of us have become weary, have become tired, have become burdened to the point where it becomes overwhelming? I think we can all relate to that. I can relate to that. It's hard to raise a child, have a job, and so it's just and have a home, clean, cook, all that stuff. It's challenging for me. And one of the scriptures that I was meditating on over, it says in Galatians 6:9, "Let us not ever become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." We can't give up, you guys. We have to keep pressing on, looking to God, refueling in the Spirit, and seeking Him to help us fill our cup so that we would not be overwhelmed and tired. And so thank you for coming every single Sunday and serving our kids. It means so much to them. It means so much to God, to the kingdom, and your impact has become eternal. So thank you for that. But not only in Sundays, you can apply it to everyday life. The scripture screams at me every day. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap the harvest if we do not give up. Just like Moses, he had so many people that he was shepherding, and Jethro came, gave him some advice so that he would relieve that burdensome. Is there anyone that you can speak to kind of help alleviate that burden, whatever it is that you're going through? Maybe you just need to give it to God. You need to give your worries to God, or maybe it's something very practical. Maybe your husband could do the dishes today, or maybe you can teach your child to put on their shoes by themselves, or maybe you can apprentice someone at work to kind of help you with your workload. There's so many practical things that we can do in our everyday life to help alleviate the burden. Or maybe you're just doing too much. Maybe you just need to say no more often. And I know that can be hard, but sometimes we got to figure it out and work with what works best with our schedule. And so know, please, that I'm praying for you, and I'm excited to see what God is going to continue to do through you and through this series. And I hope that this little devotional kind of gave you a snapshot and was encouraging to you. And so now just want to briefly go into what's happening in large group. And so in large group, we're doing a game. It's very much like Simon Says, very simple. And then we're doing worship. We're talking about the Bible challenge. Just so you know, we are challenging our kids to memorize all the books of the Bible. And as you can imagine, that's such a difficult task to do. So the winner, the one who does all the books of the Bible, is going to get a backpack full of school supplies. So that's going to be hopefully something that's going to help our families and help the child, whoever would win. And please let them know about that. And leaders, if you can also memorize the books of the Bible, please do so. All right, guys? Well, please know I'm praying for you, and I love each of you very much. And if there's anything that I can do to better serve you, please let me know, and I'll gladly do it. So have a wonderful rest of the week. I love you. God bless you. Bye.